In this lesson, I want to talk about the importance of licks or how you should practice licks. There are a lot of jazz teachers who say that you should never learn licks. You should stay away from that because it's not going to help you develop your own unique voice or something like that. I disagree with that. I think licks are an important part of developing your own language. One shouldn't only practice licks. If licks are the only thing that you're basing your solos on, then you need to maybe look into other ways to practice improv. But in this lesson, I want to show you that they can be really useful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the first lick I ever learned, the first jazz lick I ever learned. And I'm going to try to see what we can do with that. So here's the lick. So it is a C melodic minor lick, or some people call it jazz minor. So if you know your theory, you will know that it works over a C minor major 7 chord or any chord from that mode or from that scale. So I'm gonna try to play this lick over the standard invitation, see what happens. Here we go. You get the idea. So some of you are probably already thinking, oh no, I don't want to practice like that because it's going to sound like I'm just playing a lick here and I'm inserting the lick and then I'm moving on to the next bar and I'm playing the same lick. It's going to sound really predictable and boring, which is true. But what I'm doing is I'm practicing, right? I'm not performing. So by practicing this way, I'm actually learning where the notes are that belongs to that sound, that chord, and I'm finding those notes, and also I'm developing my ear to be able to hear how that sound works over each chord and so on. But it's true, it sounds really predictable. I don't think it's because of the lick, it's because of how we're playing it. I was just starting the lick the same way and I played it the exact same way pretty much every time. So what we need to do is we need to learn how to move the lick. So first we're going to try to play it in a different place rhythmically. So I'm going to start to play it the same lick but starting 2 beats early. So it's kind of anticipating the changes. And let's see what that sounds like. So already there's more life to it in a way. So you can start this beat in many different places. I mean, start the phrase in many different places, and you should experiment and see what happens. And ultimately, you want to be able to do this as you're playing. You play a phrase and you want to be able to shift it around rhythmically. that's gonna create a solo that is interesting. So it's a little bit of a beginner's mistake to always play a beat starting on beat 1 and always starting on the same place. So a more advanced or seasoned player is able to start a phrase in different places and make it more interesting. Then we're gonna shift the phrase completely rhythmically. So I'm gonna play the exact same lick, but as triplets. And let's see what that sounds like. Okay, so I was changing it from eighth note triplets, I guess, to quarter note triplets there. It was a little bit too fast, but you get the idea. You have basically a whole new lick from the same lick, just changing it to triplets. This might not always work. It might not always sound good. In this case, I think it sounds pretty cool. Next idea is to start adding notes or repeating notes. So if I repeat the first two notes, you get this. I could repeat any two notes or any four notes or anything, you know. Just by repeating a note, I'm changing the lick. So let's see what that sounds like. So hopefully that gives you some ideas of what you can do and how you can change things by just repeating notes. One note, many notes. Be creative. Next thing you could do is edit notes or omit certain notes. So in this example, I have this. So I've just changed it. I omitted some notes, and that's gonna sound like this. So the idea here is to be creative with a certain idea. The lick is the idea, and you want to manipulate that idea as you improvising. Right now we're kind of doing it in a very systematic way, but when you're actually playing, you want to be able to do this without thinking and on the fly, as it were. Then you can just start changing the notes around. So the same idea, but instead of playing, I'm gonna go up and change the last notes. So basically it's the same idea, but I'm starting to change the notes, right? So let's see what that sounds like. So what from the beginning it was just this, where all of a sudden we have many variations, kind of like in classical music when they write variations on a theme, right? There are many more ways you can do this. Some books will tell you that you can retrograde a phrase and play it from backwards, as it were, or you can invert the intervals. I personally think that this is too difficult, for me anyway. Maybe people like Jerry Bergonzi and players like that can do this on the fly. I just find it too difficult. So maybe get back to me in a few years and I will be able to do that. Then maybe you will just want to practice this phrase and just try to play this lick as many different ways as you can. Okay, so there I was just trying to play the lick with different accents and adding notes, changing it rhythmically, and hopefully that sounds more interesting than the first example where I was just playing the lick as it's written. Okay, so I hope you got something out of this, and I'll see you next time.